I think it was like his second best year of his career, And so the narrative that it didn't work out is correct because we didn't win as many games, But when it comes to getting him the ball and him scoring a lot of touchdowns, I think it went pretty good.
So Derek Carr, the quarterback of the New Orleans Saints, was asked about linking up with Davante Adams, since Davante Adams is now on the trade block and one of his top destinations, one of his preferred destinations is with the New Orleans Saints along with the New York Jets. We're going to break down everything that Derek Carr had to say about Davante, and also a little comment that the Saints head coach Dennis Allen made and how this potential trade could seriously be happening. For a while, nobody was talking about Davante Adams joining the Saints. I think I was the only one mocking this as a possibility, but everything has changed over the past few days because Davante Adams listed his preferred destinations, one of them being the New Orleans Saints along with the New York Jets. Now, a lot of people say, oh, how could Davante Adams have any demands? How could he have a preferred destination? Wouldn't the Raiders just send him wherever they want? Well, because Davante Adams has to sign a new contract with whatever team he ends up being traded to, this gives him leverage. No team is going to trade for Davante Adams if they know that he does not want to sign a contract extension with them. Maybe they would do it for a super low round pick as a 1-year rental, but if you're like the Patriots and you know this guy doesn't want to have an extension with you, you're not going to end up trading for him. So that gives Davante Adams leverage, and now you have mainstream media outlets finally talking about Davante Adams joining the New Orleans Saints, and this guy in particular is very important. We're going to talk about James Jones, what he had to say. This is a former wide receiver of the Green Bay Packers who played with Davante Adams, is friends with Davante Adams, and also was a wide receiver with the Oakland Raiders with Derek Carr in 2014. This guy is good friends with Derek Carr and Davante Adams and has been an analyst on the NFL networks and also with the Raiders particularly. He has really been one of the top analysts for the Raiders team media. Let's hear what he had to say about Davante Adams joining the New Orleans Saints.
It's the Saints. It's the Saints for me. Get back with your brother, Derek Carr, who you had an all-pro season with, right? The dude that raised you, a lot of people don't know, Keith Williams, is the receiver coach at New Orleans.
What you mean raised you? Elaborate.
Raised him. Coached him at Fresno State. Was a father figure to him at Palo Alto High School in the Bay Area. Boom, boom, boom. Dot the I's, cross the T's. Is the receiver coach at New Orleans. So if there's anybody that want Davante over there, I'm sure he would want Davante over there as well. Then you have Derek Carr, right? Okay, Saints may not have enough money to bring Davante Adams over there right now. Hey, my brother. Hey, fo. You making a lot of money, man. 100 M's last time I checked, something like that. Hey, take a little bit off the back end. I think the Saints would make a lot of sense for Davante Adams. You're going to walk in there with a dude you already played with, you have chemistry with, you won an all-pro with. I think the Saints will make a lot of sense right now. And I don't think the Saints are far off. I think the Saints could compete, especially in this division, and get to the playoffs.
Keep in mind, this guy is friends with Davante Adams, friends with Derek Carr. He has their cell phone number. He knows these dudes, and he's emphasizing Keith Williams, which is something that a lot of people were neglecting. The fact that this guy has known Davante Adams since he was a child in high school and now can coach him at the NFL level. This is a big opportunity for Davante and the Saints and Derek Carr. Whoa. Thank you to our sponsor, Football Head Coach, a football management game. You can build your dream roster with your favorite players. Football Head Coach is officially licensed by the NFLPA. That way you have real player names and likeness. Right now you can see we have our current roster, which is not very good. We definitely need a quarterback here, but you can improve your roster by completing player challenges, buying players from the player transfer market, and also by opening new packs. Let's go ahead and purchase some packs to improve this freaking team right here, right now. All right, we upgraded our roster. We got a better QB, got some better receivers, a good tight end, Kyle Pitts. We can also adjust our scheme here. I don't have a really good running game. I don't have great running backs, so I'm going all in on the passing game here. I'm gonna switch up my formations for sure. All right, let's go see if we can win some games with our new squad because we were getting beat up on earlier. Got Brock Purdy here at quarterback, getting a freaking touchdown to Amon-Ra St. Brown. You gotta stop Daniel Jones, who gets a big interception. Yes, and we have won this game 66-7, so I think our defense is gonna be just fine. Football Head Coach has quick matchups and also a weekend league where you can play against other players competitively, but you do need to qualify for it. Make sure you download Football Head Coach 25. I got the QR code right here. The link is also in the description and pinned comment of the video. This app is for free in the App Store and the Play Store. So make sure you get in on the action. When you're also looking at the potential trios that Davante Adams can join to try to win a Super Bowl, to try to mainly put up great numbers in his career, we're going to talk about what Derek Carr had to say with regards to that in a little bit, because Davante Adams is trying to be a Hall of Famer and he needs stats to do it, almost even more than Super Bowl wins. That's just how the league goes. But you're looking at these trios, Steelers, that does not seem that dominant. Jets, because of Garrett Wilson and Aaron Rodgers, yes, that is a clear connection. That is where he's probably highly mocked to go. The betting odds have the Jets as a highest destination, but the Saints have been crawling up in the betting odds for Davante Adams to land there. But really, none of this seems that impressive compared to Davante Adams linking up with Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed. To me, that would be one of the best, if not the best, wide receiver trio in the entire NFL. Allen Lazard doesn't do it for me when you're talking about the New York Jets. Also, the head coach of the New Orleans Saints, Dennis Allen, former Raiders head coach actually, was asked about a potential trade for Davante Adams, and I want you to pay close attention to the little look he gives at the very end.
Your receiving core, and would you consider adding to it?
I like our receiving core. I think we got some good young players. If there's ever an opportunity that we feel like makes sense to help our team, we're going to try to help our team.
So if there's a player out there available, you would consider going to get them?
Yeah, maybe. Depends on who that player is and a lot of other things.
Yeah, a close connection with Derek and Keith Willie.
You guys are getting a little too much. We can't really comment on anybody that plays for anybody else.
So obviously he can't say too much, but he's not ruling it out as a possibility. He definitely smiled, joked about the connections there. And even though he didn't publicly endorse it, he still said if there is a player out there available who fits the bill, they would try to make it happen. And if there's anybody who fits the bill, it's Davante Adams. Now we have the main guy, Derek Carr, the former teammate of Davante Adams in college at Fresno State, and also for that one special year with the Las Vegas Raiders, unfortunately under Josh McDaniels as well. Let's take a look at what he first says and how things start to sort of change later in the press conference.
Derek, you and Davante Adams obviously go way back. What's your relationship like with him at this point in y'all's respective careers?
Oh man, me and Tay, our families, he's been one of my best friends, and he always will be one of my best friends. And so we went on vacation, our families together, down to Cabo and all those kind of things. Like that doesn't change no matter what teams we play for. So me and Tay are always close. We always will be close. I love his wife, love his kids, and my kids sure love him, and he always plays with them. So it makes their day too.
All right, so right now he's just talking about their personal relationship. The reporters are going to grill down in just a second, but this just shows how close he is with Davante Adams. Us fans, we don't really know the extent to their friendship, but when you go on vacation, both of your families together in Cabo just this past summer, to me, that's huge. There's not many people that I would vacation with and bring my whole entire family. That shows how tight, how close these guys are, and they're talking all the time. Obviously, there's some tampering things. You can't talk about everything, but if you're that close with someone where you're vacationing, there's been a text here or there about this type of situation, a phone call, maybe a FaceTime, and Derek Carr was asked more about that.
Any conversations with him this week?
Yes, but not about what you would probably think. If you saw my phone, you'd probably laugh, but because we're just friends, like business is business. All that kind of stuff is crazy, but yeah, me and Tay, we always talk. So I know it's funny that we're talking this week, but nothing crazy.
So they have talked. They have talked this week, but Derek Carr claims that they haven't talked about any of this stuff. Oh yeah, there's no way they talked about literally the biggest story in the entire NFL right now. Obviously, Derek Carr has to play it safe and say that they're just talking about their favorite TV shows on Netflix and HBO right now. That's what they're talking about. Yeah, I doubt it, man. They're talking about this situation. And this is the same thing that happened around the the time when Davante Adams got traded from the Green Bay Packers to the Las Vegas Raiders. It was this whole song and dance about, yeah, I'm friends with Davante Adams, I'm best friends with Davante Adams, but we talk, we just don't talk about this current trade situation. Oh no. And then boom, out of nowhere, Davante Adams was traded to the Raiders. And that is why the reporters doubled down, and you got to respect them for this, asking him specifically if they've talked about this fallout with the Raiders.
Not about the Saints, but has he confided in you, just as a friend, about what is going on with him right now with Las Vegas?
That's all his business, and just as a man, I would let him talk about all his stuff. He's my friend. He knows I love him, and I'm always here for him, way beyond football. But if to speak for him, I can't. I would never do that.
Derek Carr is being respectful, saying that he's not going to talk about Davante Adams' business issues right now. And that is good for him to say that and do that. But he was asked specifically, did Davante Adams talk to you about the fallout with the Las Vegas Raiders? And Derek Carr, because he does not lie, did not deny it. He did not deny it. He just said, hey, I can't talk about this guy's situation going on right now. So they have talked about this, and this is when we get into the real red meat of this whole situation that happened today, when Derek Carr was asked specifically, do you want to play with Davante Adams again?
Play with him again?
I think all 32 quarterbacks would love to play with Davante. We would welcome that. I don't know if I get in trouble for saying that. I think it's just everyone kind of knows that. Kind of like everyone knew I was doing the Michael Jackson dance, but apparently not. I think everyone would love to play with Tay, and I would obviously, welcome playing with him again if that ever worked out in our careers. He did have 1,500 yards. I think I threw him 12 touchdowns. So we didn't win as many games as we thought, but it wasn't all bad. So we had fun doing it. That's for sure. But that business stuff, we don't even talk about it. That stuff's so beyond our control sometimes and I'm so focused here, but would I like to? Everyone would like to,
So Carr lumps himself in with everybody. Oh, would I like to play with Davante Adams? Oh, everybody in the world would want to play with Davante Adams. But what he said specifically, I think, is very important. We talked about earlier the fact that Davante Adams is trying to make the Hall of Fame. He has a shot to be a Hall of Fame wide receiver and wear that freaking gold jacket. And, Super Bowls and all that stuff's great. You need numbers and you need stats to do it. And Derek Carr specifically brought up the fact that Davante Adams had his second best career year with the Raiders. A lot of people don't talk about that. Carr, Adams, and the Raiders put up a lot of numbers for Adams specifically. He had tons of yards, tons of touchdowns in that season under Josh McDaniels. And yes, Josh McDaniels was a locker room cancer, and the Raiders blew a lot of leads that year. But Davante Adams has not even come close to that since no longer having Derek Carr as QB with the Raiders. And even under Aaron Rodgers, he wasn't getting that same production year in and year out like he had with Carr. So when Adams is talking about his preferred destinations, the Jets, obviously, and also the Saints, he's probably thinking about those stats that he had with Carr and his potential Hall of Fame career. And that is why Carr was asked about this more specifically. How did he feel knowing that the Saints, because of him, Carr, are a preferred destination for Adams?
Doctor did report, though, that she's interested in reuniting with the quarterback he's played with previously. What does that make you feel like that your previous experience went well enough that he wants to play with you again, potentially?
He had I think it was his second best year of his career, and so, the narrative that it didn't work out is correct because we didn't win as many games, but when it comes to getting him the ball and him scoring a lot of touchdowns, I think it went pretty good.
That Derek Carr and Davante Adams are thinking, damn, what if we didn't have to deal with Josh McDaniels? The amount of numbers that we put up, the historic numbers that we put up, were absolutely insane. We just had a toxic head coach, a really weird situation going on where they blew leads. They blew double-digit leads. Actually, the Raiders in 2022 broke the record on blowing double-digit leads in a season. It was absolutely insane. And in the back of their head, they're thinking, what if we link up again? What if we were with the Saints under a chill head coach like Dennis Allen? Could things be different? Some people think, oh, the Saints are good at wide receiver. They're good on their weapons. They got Taysom Hill, Alvin Kamara. They got Rashid Shaheed and Chris Olave. Well, there are injuries piling up for this team. And this team really has an older roster. They got to take advantage of the situation right now to try to make a deep NFC championship run and try to get to that Super Bowl. Super Bowl is in New Orleans, by the way. Taysom Hill has fractured ribs. He was dealing with rib injuries before, and now it's really hitting a tipping point. I don't think this guy's going to play for the next few weeks. You also have Alvin Kamara. There was a report before that he was battling with fractured ribs as well. So you got two of your best players on the offensive side of the football dealing with injuries. The Saints really do need another option, another big-time target and playmaker outside of Olave and Rashid Shaheed. And I really like Rashid Shaheed. I think he's a great player, but I think his game is more of that stretching the field, deep ball game. He's not a guy who's going to make big time contested catches like Chris Olave and Davante Adams. So there's a real need for this guy on this team. The question is, will the Saints put together all that draft capital to go and grab Davante Adams? Will they outbid the New York Jets? Now, Kay Adams has been having Davante Adams on her show. Davante Adams is actually a weekly reoccurring guest on the Kay Adams Show up in Adams every single Tuesday. He's going to continue to be a guest there every single Tuesday, even this upcoming Tuesday. It's kind of his own version of Aaron Rodgers with the Pat McAfee Show, how he goes on there, every single week. And she has been sort of making some cryptic posts about Davante Adams potentially joining the Saints. You had a fan say, oh, put in a good word with us for him to join the Saints. You know, she puts a little emoji. She's acknowledging this. And she's even been posting and talking about the fact that they had Rashid Shaheed on the show along with Davante Adams. And she made a post recently saying, could these two link up? Right here you have it. Could these two be teammates soon? She's teasing it, Saints fans. And come on, do you think that she knows nothing? You think she doesn't know anything about what Davante Adams wants, what he desires, what he thinks may happen? She has an inside plug, and she is right now teasing the fact that the New Orleans Saints could be a good possibility. My name is Wi-Fi Willie. Like this video if you have not yet. Subscribe for more content from me. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.